This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
I'm going to guess who's back, and I'm going to say it's probably us, Mark. Welcome to the Talking Shit Show.
Yes, that's about what it is right now. Brian almost missed a segment. He doesn't know how to work a computer.
I got a guy for that.
Yeah, well, your guy wasn't there. All right.
Mark, we're a part of the network. It's called the Deluxe Edition Network, and on the network there are two podcasts of the month,
and they are Barrel Aged Chicks and Deep Dark Secrets.
Get on over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Check those two podcasts out, as well as your favorite show, Talking Shit, and Stephen Jarvis and Friends. We're doing this. This is happening.
Whatever else we decide to promote tonight. Probably a few other ones.
You got a special guest for us?
Yes. We were supposed to have her yesterday, but family, obligations. Hey, understand.
It happens.
She just didn't want to be on the show, since it was Jason Voorhees' birthday yesterday.
Oh.
But anyways, this is she's from Friday the 13th Part 2. She played Vicky. And she also voiced a few different Pound Puppies, the cartoon in the 80s. And
I know the cartoon.
Yes, it's great. But I'm going to bring her in. This is Lauren Marie Taylor.
Oh my God, Pound Puppies! You can't talk about Neighbors with Belushi and Aykroyd.
Oh no, dude! Listen, I here's the thing. So Miss Lauren, so I remember this movie called Neighbors, with a very young-looking, blonde-haired Dan Aykroyd. It was Dan Aykroyd, right?
Yeah, Danny.
Oh my God! I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like when Mark was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, I got Lauren Marie Taylor to be on the show," and I was like, "All right, cool." She's from what movie again? And then he told me, he's like, "Yeah, she's from Friday the 13th," and I was like, No. I've seen her in something else. I know this name. And then I had to search it, and I was like, I know this movie. This movie is Neighbors. It had Jim Belushi and
John
Belushi.
Belushi.
I'm sorry, John Belushi. And a young Dan Aykroyd like, was that like one of his first roles?
Well, they've already been on Saturday Night Live for quite some time. And that's why they were having a hard time casting the role of what's her name, Elaine Keyes, because everybody was such a huge fan, and I had never watched Saturday Night Live. So when I went in for the audition, I was not starstruck at all. And originally, Belushi was supposed to play the Dan Aykroyd role, and Dan Aykroyd was supposed to be the dad. So they switched it for some reason that I was never privy to.
Well.
Yeah, of course, that you probably could have seen her on a soap opera too that your mom probably watched back in the day.
Oh, that was Loving.
Yeah,
forever.
Loving.
For 12 years.
And she was an original cast member that went all the way through.
Yep, from birth to death.
An interesting part though, trying to look her up online, it's a little bit harder to do. She's very private, which is hard to do. Yeah.
Wow.
The only thing it tells me is you're married and you have 3 kids. That's it. It doesn't tell me anything else about your life. Nothing. When you look it up. So I'm like,
I guess the fact that I was a porn star is not on there. Oh my God.
Oh, what?
Man.
Just kidding.
Mark's been trying for a very long time. He's like,
he
said, hold on. No. One day we're going to get a porn star on. And I was like, Mark, whatever happens.
Actually, one of our guests, our former guests that we had, he messaged me once I found out about having you on, and he was like, and please don't get mad at me for this. He goes, will she model those brown panties for us? and I'm like, Matt, you can't do that. I said I will ask you to see if there was any other colors other than the ugly brown ones, but that's about it as far as I'm going to go with it.
No, there were no other colors. It was Steve Miner's idea. I balked at them because I had a perfectly nice pair of black ones, and then out came the brown ones, and I'm not quite sure why that happened, but I do a photo op when I go to conventions like Days of the Dead and coming up in Nickel City Con up in Buffalo coming up. I do a photo op with them and a replica of the ugly brown sweater. But don't tell my husband, because once I thought I left the items behind, and I thought I forgot to put them in my suitcase, and I was stressing out. And he said, "What's the big deal with this photo op, with this costume photo op?" And then he trolled on my Instagram, and he saw a post with the brown undies, and he said, "That's your photo op? Are you kidding me?" And I said, "It's my costume, yeah." So we don't discuss it.
Yeah, most people remember that, and you were the only one to be killed, basically off screen than on screen, because all the other ones were killed on screen, except for
Kirsten Baker.
Yeah, except for him. He was.
Yeah, you didn't see Kirsten's kill on screen. You saw Russell Todd. Obviously, you saw the Jeff and Sandra. Bill Randolph and Maricopa. But Kirsten, she turns to camera after seeing Russell Todd's character and hanging upside down, and all she does is scream. So she doesn't get any blood work done.
Right. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about her. And I just watched it the other day too.
Mark is a diehard. I'm telling you, like, he will tell you he's not even looking at the actor who plays that person. He's like, this person right here is about to die because of, or this person is about to die like this. And I'm like, Mark, shut up. I'm trying to watch a movie.
Well, no, I'm not.
Spoiler alert.
I'm not that bad, but I've watched the movie so many times that I could tell you a lot about them. But a while back we had the author of Sackhead on.
Oh, yes, Ron.
He is awesome though. I sent him the book, and he signed it for me.
Cool. Yeah, I had him on my podcast as well, on the Not the Final Girl podcast.
Yeah, I just realized that you had that one. When I contacted you, I was like, oh man, I forgot about I was like, I had questions down here. I'm like, and then I said, screw it, we're not asking the questions. We'll do something else instead. Because I know you probably get 1,000,001 questions about, like part 2. Now, what did you think about the ending and stuff like that? People always have their own way of thinking of, the ending is, the dog had already died and she was just dreaming all that and stuff. And I'm like,
As
it was
an animal lover, I'm always saying that the dog never died, that it was like a possum or something that they found in the woods, that it was never.
Yeah, I mean, it was never confirmed that the dog actually died, so that was a good thing. And I was actually surprised in the beginning of the third one that they didn't kill off the final girl of the second one. How they did in the on the first one, they killed off the second one. But yeah, it was just watching that one. It made me like Friday the 13th more. Watching, each time I watch them and stuff, it's more I like them because of the fact that it's predictable now for me, but for the longest time we didn't have any.
Yeah.
Mark, slow down.
Yeah,
Breathe.
I am.
Do you guys have a favorite Friday the 13th in the franchise? Like, do you have a favorite one that you like?
Mine is part 4.
Okay. What about yours?
I've got to say part 1 because I mean, you cannot have a story without having the
without having mom.
You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Yeah, you need mom.
So I feel like part one for me is I'll go back and rewatch it 1,000 times because there is a build up to what's about to happen and why there is a franchise for Jason.
Right.
So absolutely.
I like the part one. I like it for the fact that you don't know who the killer is through the whole time.
Right.
And then at the end, you find out that it's a woman, which you don't see. You didn't see back then. You didn't see a woman killer.
Right.
I had this question for you though. What was it like working with a killer?
Oh my gosh, I didn't. No, it's funny because my killer was a crew guy by the name of Jerry Wallace. You know, he was a grip. You know, he's one of those guys that did everything. Because back then, movie crews were much more scaled down. Now, you know, you've got hundreds of people involved. So it was just a very small group of people who were on the crew. And Jerry Wallace was my killer. He was one of the crew guys. He put on the sack head. He put on the garb, and he was the one who did the killing. Now, I probably met Steve Dash, but I didn't have like a relationship with him the way Amy Steele did because he was her Jason. Whereas Warrington and I were friends because I was getting my special effect, you know, that little tearaway thing on my leg done at the same time Warrington was getting his prosthetic done. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but there's actually, let me move my hand over. Right there. There's a little black and white picture. I'm squinting because I can't see without my glasses. There's a little black and white picture back there with Warrington getting the makeup done. Yeah. And that's,
And then I see the transition from 2 all the way down. So we see the transition photo from Sackhead to
yes, the poster. Yes.
Yeah,
my brother got that for me and I had it framed. My son-in-law framed it for me. But yeah, my brother got that for me because he thinks it was really cool. And
it is really cool because I mean there's a start and a middle and an end. So I mean there's a whole story on that poster right there. So that's really cool.
It's a great poster. Yeah, it reminds me of I have a T-shirt with the many faces of Spock, you know, from Star Trek, and it's all the same expression, but it's like sad, happy, angry, you know, but it's all the same Spock expression. That reminds me of the T-shirt that I wear.
So, do you have a favorite? I'm knowing probably the answer of the series. What's your favorite?
Part 6.
Part 6.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I love the music. Big Alice Cooper.
Oh. Yeah,
like we're all Darcy's in it, and of course Tommy McLaughlin,
he's a great guy.
He's a great guy, a lot of fun. I was in Germany with him. Was Bill on that trip? Oh gosh, I'm not remembering who was on. Judy Aronson was on the trip with me. Felissa Rose was there. Catherine Comey was there. Tommy was there, and it was and I think Bill Randolph was on that trip too. Yes, he was. Bill Randolph was on the trip too. I'm mixing it up with a couple of other trips that we've done, and that was a great time to have us all there. It was really cool.
Yeah, I was on a different podcast at the time, and we interviewed Tommy McLaughlin, and he was awesome. He was telling us stories about what he wanted to do with Part 6, and that, you know, what they would let him do with it. And I'm like, that's a shame. We would have seen a lot more if they would have stuck with that storyline.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Jason?
Well, of course, Warrington Gillette. I love CJ Graham. I do love Kane a lot. Kane, I love Kane because I like him so much as a person. I love CJ because I thought his presence was really incredibly scary. And Warrington and I are friends, so of course, you know, he's my guy.
So who's the taller of the Jasons? You get to see them all. Okay.
I think CJ's the tallest. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I see. I thought it was Kane. I honestly thought
Kane's a little bit shorter.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
But Kane is more stockier.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what the thing is I've worn heels around Kane. So he doesn't appear as tall to me because I've worn heels around Kane. Some like, you know, I go up to from 5'6" to 5 foot, 8 or 9. So with Kane, I'm a little taller. But
so I don't know if you ever get this question, and I don't want to feel bad asking it, but I'm going to ask it. When you were asked, because I know, kind of looking at your profile, you were doing commercials before you did movies.
Oh my gosh, yeah, tons of commercials and jingles too.
And when you were handed the role, when you were handed that role for Vicky, was it, first of all, were you handed the role for Vicky, and were you handed the book and you were like, this isn't Friday the 13th like I remember from?
I never saw Friday the 13th, the original.
Okay.
So I didn't know what I was getting myself into. In terms of getting the role, I did audition for it, and it was a casting director that had put me in a lot of commercials. So she knew me as the all-American girl. So that was kind of a no-brainer for her to put me in that role. And then when I got the script, I was like, oh, wow, everybody's just dying. Everybody's dying. And then Steve Miner had a screening in New York at the Directors Guild of America. They have a screening rooms there. He had us watch the movie because it had just come out not long before, 6 months before or something like that, before we started filming. And it was a hit. And that's why they were like, well, let's do another one. So I hadn't seen it until that screening because I was busy. I was constantly working, and I was finishing. I was in college at the time as well. So I was just way too busy to see movies at all.
Read the book, Brian. You would have known the answer.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it from the people that have been.
Yeah, I mean, most of them. Like, I can tell you that most of them did not know what Friday the 13th was.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that film, they did not know what it was. They didn't know what it was going to be about. Nothing, because the mom died in the part 1. So a lot of them were like, "Oh, a little thing called Friday the 13th, B movie." Back then they were B movies and wasn't very big until and then they started.
While we touch on that subject of a B movie, there was a movie out there that the very first one, Mark, was called Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, this movie messed with my head.
With Felicity Rose.
Messed with my head.
She's one of the ones that's on my list that I would love to see on here.
Oh, she's great. Felicity's a great gal. Peas and carrots.
So this movie came out right around that same time era, right?
Yeah, I think hers came out. I think it came out 2 years after ours. I'm not sure. It came out a little bit afterwards. It had a different vibe because in Sleepaway Camp, they had campers. So you really got the feeling that you were at Sleepaway Summer Camp, whereas ours, and the same with part 1 as well, and the other ones, you're looking at counselors in training, or counselors getting ready, or counselors, and some of the kids are there. I know there's some where the kids are there and the kids get spared and whatnot. So yeah, it's very different from Sleepaway Camp. And Sleepaway Camp has a lot of daytime scenes. There's a lot of water, whereas the Friday movies, you've got a lot of night stalking.
A lot of night, and a lot of rain.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. That too. Yeah.
But yeah, there was only one of the movies where in Friday the 13th where the kids were there, and that was part 7.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time they were always in training. That means that they were, as most people put it, they were horny teenagers.
And that's what I remember. And that's what I remember. And that's what I remember from part 2 was it was just, hey, we're going to this summer camp to work, and then we're just going to be And I was like, holy crap! Like, what's going on here? People are dying, and there's boobies. So.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember kids were younger.
I always
wanted to go to sleepaway camp. I was like, you do not go out at night. You do not leave your cabin. You don't get short. You don't walk in the woods. They're like, Mom, it's sleepaway camp. I said,
it's totally
trust
different.
me on this. And it was very different. Yeah.
Yeah. See, when I seen part 2, the only person that I felt bad for, and that was Mark, his character Mark, because he was in a wheelchair and how he died, and he didn't get laid before he died.
I know, poor guy. Neither did I.
Yeah, I mean,
see, Mark has talked about this for quite some time, and he was like, and then on certain parts of or certain series of the movie, Mark wanted to see more boobs, and I was like, Mark,
well, yes, yes. Back then, I wanted to see more boobs because I was a guy and I was a teenager when I started actually watching a lot more of it. But
no, I was talking about last week.
Oh no.
Well, the remake had a lot, so just look at the remake.
Yeah,
and I was shocked at the amount. I was embarrassed watching it because I'm like, that's a lot of boob in my face. I don't need to see that. I see my own, and that's enough. Ugh.
I mean, it's okay with I'm not all out for all nudity in it all. Sex, nudity, whatever. I mean, like I've said before on this, part 6 is the only one that did not have any nudity.
That's right. Tommy was very respectful of the female psyche and form. Yes.
They asked him, do we have to take our tops off? Not if you don't want to. Okay. Yep. He was very, very well. And that's why I said, in part, I don't know if you've ever watched any of the fan films.
I have some of them, yes.
Okay. Like in Vengeance, I don't know if you've seen that one, Vengeance or Vengeance 2.
No, I haven't seen it.
You would like them. I think you would. They're basically off of which one is it off of? I can't remember which one it's off of. Any which way, right now I can't. But Vengeance
Starstruck
had one. No, hold on. Had one. It only had one. Vengeance 1 had Vengeance 1 only had nudity. Yes, you are correct. No, Vengeance 2 is what I'm talking about. It didn't have no nudity. It didn't need nudity. They had so many different kills. It was great. But if you ever get a chance, check those two out. And Roseblood, that's another good one.
Okay, all right.
That was that's Peter Anthony, and Jason Brooks.
Yeah,
have teamed up to bring us those films. As they have a bunch of other stuff coming out, and that they already did as well. But that was going to be one of my questions too for you, Miss Lauren. When you got done wrapping part 2, did you ever think that it was going to go to part 3 and part 4 and so on and so forth? Was there any inclination that something big like that was coming?
You know what? It's funny because when we filmed it, our script did not say Friday the 13th part 2. It said Jason on it. So we were not aware, and I don't think anybody was, that it would become this whoosh of a franchise, because it was not called part 2. Just like Friday the 13th part 1 is not called part 1. It's right. Friday the 13th.
Right.
But a lot of people say 1, 2, because, of all the...
Well, because now you have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to differentiate Friday the 13th, the remake. But no, we had no idea. And again, it was because it was called Jason. It never said F-13 part 2. So no idea.
So you didn't know it was a part 2 until, We
knew it was. We knew it was a sequel to obviously the Sean Cunningham one, but we didn't know that it would be. I don't think anybody knew that it would become this franchise at all. I mean, I think all of us are taken aback by that, except maybe obviously if you get to part 4, 5, 6, then you're like, oh, I'm part of a franchise. But I think the first 2, even maybe part 3, there's a feeling of, we didn't know it would go to Jason Goes to Outer Space or Jason Takes Manhattan or any of those. We had no idea it would get that big.
Freddy versus Jason.
Right, Freddy.
Yeah, everybody tried to, they tried to do that in the 80s. They tried doing it in the 90s. Didn't get it done until 2000s. And, I'm glad that they waited, but,
disappointment sets in.
Yeah.
So my question to that was going to be, if you would have known that you were going to be a part of a big franchise like that, would you have asked to change your role or change how you did your role? Okay.
No. I mean, no, not at all. Vicky was the all-American girl who was trying to act like she was sexy to this guy, and it wasn't quite working. So that was my MO when I was playing the character, was to make her a little on the awkward side, even to the point where there's a scene where Marta Kober, who played Sandra, comes across to Bill Randolph's character, Jeff, and she does this, and she gets his attention that way. So as an actor, I just was like to Steve Miner, I said, I'm just going to copy that, that move because it worked for her, and he's like, whatever, Lauren. So I did the same thing towards Mark, like this, what do you want to play for? That type of thing, position. And she still looks awkward, and which is great because that's how I wanted Vicky to be, was awkward. But I wouldn't have changed. Nah.
Well, that's good, because a lot of people are like, well, I wish I would have been carried into the sequel, or I wish I would have been the final girl or something like that, the final kill of not really Jason Sackhead, but yeah.
Well, I was the final kill. I was the last person to get killed in part 2.
But they didn't consider you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, well, she's the final girl. And they did not, for some reason, they did not consider.
Yes, final kill. But, a lot of women, they like to be the final girl because, they get more notarized. But you're seeing in a lot of some flashbacks when it comes to other movies, Friday the 13th.
Right, the Scream. And I know the Scream was on the Oscar when they were honoring horror movies. They used my Scream at the Academy Awards, which was kind of cool for me. That was cool. But you know what? By the time Friday the 13th came out, I was already doing Neighbors. I had already done Girls' Night Out. I was busy again. And as an actor, it's, it is a job. So you just kind of, you do it, you're done, and that's it. And you move on to the next gig. It's not until years later when all of a sudden people are calling you and saying, oh, you want to do this? And I'm like, do what? Sign autographs? Because when I was on the soap opera, I signed autographs at malls a couple times a month. And, it was not a big deal. And nobody ever brought up Friday the 13th part 2, ever. It was always the soap opera. So
you were a part of a huge soap opera, though. I mean, that was a big. Yeah.
It was a big
soap opera.
Yeah.
Question for Miss Taylor. We got a question. Hang on a second.
Okay, you have questions from who?
You, Soldier.
Oh, you have people on. Oh, look how cute! I see that.
We're actually, believe it or not, we're actually live.
Oh, then I'll watch my language.
No, we fuck up all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you curse. Okay.
Yes. That's part of why we're live, is we like to, do it all live and have fun.
Cheers. Favorite fantasy death as a character? Favorite fantasy death as a character? I don't know that I understand the question.
Elaborate a little bit more.
Meaning way to get killed. Oh. If you so you're an actress, so what would be your ideal way to get killed?
Oh, I want to be bitten by a vampire. Come on. You're getting the sexy time action going on your neck, and then all of a sudden it's like, and they always look, I can say this, but I hope my mother's not watching this. She's going to be so embarrassed. But it looks so orgasmic when you get bitten by a vampire. That's my fantasy death, to get bitten by a vampire and just be like, oh, I don't like that.
That's one way.
That I can see that. Let me see. You have a picture in the background that I've been looking at. It is Sackhead, directly behind you.
Oh, there.
Yes.
Oh, part 2. Yes.
Yes. It is Sackhead, and it says Friday the 13th, part 2. Where did you get that from set? Is that?
No, that is, oh gosh. That is by an artist. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember his name offhand. That's by an artist. It's not in the corner. Hold on. Let me see if I can see it. I can't see it.
It's okay. I just happened to catch that, and I was like, I've not seen that. I didn't know if that was a poster that was supposed to come out and did not come out.
No, it's from an artist, and he's gonna kill me for not remembering his name. Oh my gosh!
Don't worry, you'll probably remember it once you get off here, and then you could just message me, and I'll
But you have a lot of really cool memorabilia in the background. I see a lot of photos up there with it looks like some of the cast.
Okay, so I've got photos. I've got a couple of things. Jason Duck that I got from a fan in Germany. I've got this. Cool. This is kind of cool. This is one of those 3D computerized things.
Okay.
Is that cool or what?
That is really cool.
Okay, so then we've also, my favorite, because this is a story. Okay, so I had a big birthday a couple of years ago, and soon after that, I saw Warrington, and I believe it was either Chicago or Las Vegas. And I said, Warrington, I have this NECA, from Friday the 13th Part 2. I said, could you sign for me? And he's like, come on, Lauren, who is it for? And I said, it's mine. My kids got it for me for my birthday. I said, look, here's a picture. So finally he did sign it. I don't know if you can see it.
There it is. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there it is. And he put on it something to the effect of, I'm going to rip those brown undies right off of me. Yeah, so my husband has not seen this. And I'm moving this whole thing, my whole office, I'm moving it to a different room downstairs that's a little bit smaller. And I'm thinking my husband's now going to see this. I'm going to be in really.
He's going to need you're going to need his help moving the office downstairs. So, he's going to see it.
That's when you take that first down there and just
hide it.
Yeah.
Totally hide it. Yeah.
Yeah. The only autograph that I got from Friday the 13th so far is one is Ari's.
Of course. Yes.
Yes. I got that at Spookilla last year.
Where did that happen?
Ocala, Florida.
Oh, okay.
It's now going to be in Tampa, starting in October. I'm hoping to be able to go to that one. And the other one was Kane Hodder's, but I didn't get to meet him for that. I just got it that way. But he's one of the ones I want to meet. I got to meet a few of them that I liked last year. Art the Clown.
Of course, yes.
Damien Leone or Lauren. Oh, yeah, shit. He's gonna kill me for screwing up.
Kill us for not remembering things today.
Yes. I got both of them to sign my Terrifier thing.
Oh yes.
And then I got
Camp Crystal Lake thing up there. I see.
Yes, I actually moved this all around so all my figures for Friday the 13th would be out.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So you cheated. Okay.
Well, Mark is a huge fan. Mark is if Mark says a horror movie and I haven't heard of it, I have to go watch it. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I get it. Totally get it.
So I'm on a different spectrum. Like I'll watch them and everything, but here's my thing. Like me and my wife will sit down and we're into comedy. Like that's like
get it.
Oh, I'm in all different types.
I'm a hangover guy. Like hey, what's on tonight? What's on tonight? Well, we're watching Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover. Sounds great.
Yeah,
Let's put it on and I'm going to bed. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm into like true crime and stuff like that, and I do like a good comedy. I really like Christopher Guest and all of his stuff that he does with his crew of people. Like Best in Show, For Your Consideration. This is Spinal Tap. All those are just my go-tos.
This is Spinal Tap had me rolling. Yeah. I was rolling.
Level 11, yeah.
You soldiers sent another message for you.
Oh,
there you go.
Being from the Bronx, how did you were you the original Jenny from the block? All right. Yes. I'm really from the Bronx. I'm not from Riverdale or anything like that. I grew up in a tenement, and then we moved to the projects across the street from a place called St. Raymond's Cemetery on Randall Avenue. And yeah, growing up in the Bronx was very, very different. I think my brother and the McAvoy twins and a couple of other people, we were the only like Irish, German, Polish descent people in the school. So it was definitely a different growing up experience for me. And I think, I don't want to get political or anything like that, but I think that's why a lot of this business about, oh gosh, I hate getting political.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't do politics. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't do politics, but I can just say this.
Yeah, you're fine.
Growing up in the 60s, everybody got along and nobody noticed that I was white or that my best friend was Black or my other best friend was Latina. We didn't notice that. We didn't notice any differences because we were just all in school. We were all in the Bronx. We all had the same teachers in the same Catholic school who hit us all with a paddle for the same infraction.
Exactly.
So that's what it was like growing up in the Bronx. I loved it because I got to go to Yankee games, and I even caught a ball once.
Oh my God, you're a Yankee fan?
Sorry.
Okay, first of all, I'm not a baseball fan, so that's between you and Lauren. So there you go.
Well, the Rays always beat them, so I don't care.
Mark's not even from Florida, but he's a Florida fan when it comes to
baseball.
Most of the people in Florida are Yankee fans because they're all retired New York people, dude.
I don't know anything about baseball.
I'm originally from Michigan.
Oh.
So,
what's your baseball team out there in Michigan?
Tigers.
Well, why aren't you a Tigers fan?
I like the Tigers too, but it's just one thing. They're a little slow these days.
Okay.
But I'm allowed to like teams in Florida. I don't like too many of them, but
Mark is 4'6". He played shortstop in high school.
No, I did not. I played right field. Get it right.
Shortstop. I like that. Shortstop.
We are not racist, but Mark is very short. So I'm just gonna let you know ahead of time.
I'm 5'4". But
if he stands up, just so you know, he's standing on the seat of the chair that he's sitting in right now.
Fuck you.
By the way,
this is true.
I figured this out. This wonderful. By the way, when this glows in the dark, it's a different picture. Just so you know, the dude is QFS Chris, and he's on Instagram. Okay,
QF?
so that's QF like Frank, S like Sammy, and then Chris, and that's his name on Instagram. And he's the one who creates these. And like I said, when they are in the dark, it's a different picture altogether.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, you have to look it up.
This is from, let's see here. This is from somebody Maurice.
Hi, Maurice. Lauren, to touch base from the conversation earlier about fan films, would you like to reprise your role as Vicky in a Ooh, look at that. Yeah.
Oh.
Escape from Hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to know how Jason got out of hell.
Yeah, I do too. Maybe a lot of praying for him or something. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've done just one fan film. So that's the only thing. It's called 9 Lives. But I just did a short called Pretty Face, and then I did a full-length feature in Canada, an indie feature, and that was a horror film as well. But I signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I'm not allowed to talk about it until they have the distributor and they start promoting it. So I have done in the past, within a year, a couple of gigs. So I'm open to things. Obviously you got to talk to my agent. And if you contact me on Instagram, I can tell you how to get
a hold of your agent. Yeah. Here's my agent.
Marie Taylor one on Instagram. That's me. So
I think I found you because I was trying to post earlier because I know we canceled Tuesday to reschedule Wednesday. So I felt like it's not a problem. I just felt like I wanted to make sure that I posted to the right and I tagged you in the Instagram post. Okay, good. Because I don't know how to use Instagram.
And I don't know how to use Facebook. Every time I post something on my wall, it shows up on somebody else's wall and I have to delete it. So whatever I post on Instagram at the Lauren Marie Taylor 1 goes directly to Facebook. So everybody thinks I'm on Facebook, but I'm actually really poopy on Facebook.
You're just posting it from Instagram and you're like, it's over there now. Just
yeah. So I think I'm going to take the month of July. I have some free time in July. So I think I'm going to take the month of July and do a crash course with all of my kids on how to do Instagram and not post on other people's stories by mistake.
Hey, she did good. She answered me on Facebook. So that, I mean, that's all I cared at the point, you know?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, you just said kids. How many kids do you have?
Oh, they're not kids. They're adults. I have 3. They're all grown adults. 2 are married. And,
any actors, actresses in the band?
No, not at all. All are musically extremely proficient. Musicians, singers. My younger daughter actually is involved in writing songs with a co-writer, Axel, and they make wonderful music, and they'll be putting out some stuff, and everybody will know about it when they do that. So that's a work in progress. But they're all, you know, they play the piano. My son is a saxophone person. You know, both girls play the piano. They all sing. So they're all very talented, and they're all artistic too. They're wonderful artists. I mean, I can walk around the room and get all kinds of pieces of art from them. But no, none of them went into professional acting. My youngest did regional theater in high school and college and whatnot, but she didn't pursue it as an adult, like I did. Yeah. And it was different back then. The pool was much smaller back then. Now everybody's just like TikTok and this and this and this, and everybody wants to be out there.
People are getting famous off of TikTok.
You know, yeah. Back then we didn't do it. You know, nobody did it to become famous. You know, we did it because we loved it. You know, we loved the work. We loved the work. You know, it was fun.
I do appreciate the art that comes from TikTok though, because I mean, in a sense, there is a lot of art that comes from it, because without it, I don't think that you would be able to see certain things, you know, like the big face actors and actresses that come on and they tell jokes, or they have these little storylines and they're talking to themselves, you know, cameo style. And, you know, so I do appreciate that kind of art too. I mean, what you said though, it is in fact art. I mean, what you guys did, you had to work for it in a different aspect. And I think when my kids were getting older too, we were in California and we had agents like, oh, hey, we want your child to come and do this. And I was just like, dude, I can't afford to bring my kid there or whatever, you know? So if we would have had TikTok back then, I think it would have been a different situation. You know?
Very different. I don't do TikTok at all.
I mean, there's a lot of kids out there that, you know, they have a talent that needs to be seen, but you know, people like you said couldn't do that back then because they couldn't afford it. And nowadays you can use TikTok to help, but some of them, you know, go a little outrageous on some of it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we went to a restaurant today for lunch, my wife and I, and got a chance to sit down with her. And she said, looking around the walls, and it says, this is, pretend like this is 1989. Put your phone down and talk to one another. We don't have Wi-Fi. And I was like, I love that. I love that.
Where was that?
The front porch.
Okay. Yep.
Front porch, they got a sign. They write it on chalk on the wall, and it's like, pretend it's 1989 and talk to each other. We don't have Wi-Fi here.
I mean, there's some places that'll give you a discount on your food if you don't touch your phone at all.
Oh, that's cool. That I'd like.
I need to find those restaurants because I'll put my phone down. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I love talking to my wife.
When me and my wife go out, you know, we sit there and talk to each other. We don't touch the phones. We keep them in our
pockets.
No,
we don't either. Yeah, we don't either at all. Yeah.
And then sometimes we play Russian roulette, you know. If you touch your phone, you're paying the bill. Okay, but it's coming out of the same bank account, so it don't matter.
What are you doing now, Miss Lauren? Where are you at now are you doing acting, voice acting, commercials? Are you doing any of that right now?
No, I'm not doing commercials or voice acting or anything like that. I I did the short film called Pretty. That's working title is Pretty Face. It's probably what it's going to be, and that was kind of cool.
You just can't tell us about it.
I play mom.
Okay.
In it, and it's towards the end. Put it that way. And the same with the one that the full length feature that I did in Canada.
But you can't tell us what that one, the name of that one.
No, I play a mysterious woman. I had 4-page monologue. I play a mysterious woman at the end who knows a little bit too much about death and blood. Just put it that way.
Oh, I can't wait to see that one now.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. And the people involved are awesome, and they're young and they're up and coming, and it's great. And it's a full length. I filmed it up in Canada in Sault Ste. Marie, which is above.
Yes, I know where that's where. Yep.
You're next door. You have the same name in Michigan.
I actually in Michigan I have family there. That's where my grandma.
So I'm on the Canadian side, and Sault Ste. Marie in Canada, right over that bridge.
It's been a long time.
Mark's moving back up there. He's probably going to become Canadian.
No, I've thought about it, but no, I'm not moving that far north.
It's cold. We shot it at the end, at the beginning of June, end of May, and it was freezing.
Yeah, now they're dealing with the forest fires or the fires.
Yes, and I'm
New
sure
York. New York. Yeah. Is it actually? You see it there really bad?
We did. It's gone. It's gone now. But it was red. The sky was red. It was crazy. New York City really got it. And when I filmed on Staten Island over the weekend for Pretty Face, and they had all pictures, and it was worse in Staten Island than it was up by me, because I'm in the valley. I'm up in the Hudson Valley area, so I'm north of New York City. But it was pretty bad. So that's pretty much it. Aside from appearances, I'll be at Days of the Dead in Indianapolis next weekend, the weekend of the 23rd, and then the following weekend I'll be up in Buffalo at Nickel City Con, and that'll be fun.
Well, that's keeping you kind of close to home, right? Buffalo.
Yeah, it's a further away. Yeah, it's definitely a good road trip, but it's fun. It's fun because then I'll see my son and his wife up there too. And
do you do a lot of conventions, or just you pick and choose?
I've done a concentrated amount, but then July I'm laying kind of low. I think I have something doing the weekend of October 13th that I'll be able to talk about once it's set in stone. But yeah, I kind of lay low during certain parts of the year because we've got a lot of birthdays in the summertime in our family. So I tend not to travel a whole lot in July and August, and early September I stay home because of all the birthdays. And
Oh, I'm sorry. One of the questions came across. Are you going to do Days of the Dead in Chicago?
No, I'm doing Indianapolis.
Indy? Okay.
Yeah, that's next weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'd love to get to Texas. I have not been to Texas for a con. I would love to get there.
Have you ever been to any of the San Diego ones? San Diego?
No.
Oh my God!
Most of the San Diego don't normally do the horror ones. Like
they do, though. They do.
Yeah,
they do. Comic-Con bigger than everything else.
Well, yes, Comic-Con, but when it comes to horror, it's not as big.
It's not as big, but I'm going to tell you,
there's other places where it's really big. There's other places where it's really big, but there it's not as big compared to Comic.
If you're coming to Tampa, please reach out to Mark and let him know he wants a pair of brown.
I haven't been to Tampa since Bay of Blood.
See, I would go for an autographed copy, or
Okay, there you go. I'll do that. But yeah, I haven't been. I was at Bay of Blood. I think it's oh my gosh, maybe it was 2013. I was at Bay of Blood. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago. Maybe 2000.
I was still learning how to rewalk.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
He had his hip replaced.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
He didn't say walk. He said rewalk.
Yeah, I had to learn how to rewalk. The doctor pinched a nerve in the back of my knee, so the bottom of my foot drops a lot.
Oh,
so
not good.
Yeah, it took me a long time to be able to walk without my cane and without crutches and without other things, and I'm doing a lot better.
Good. That's good.
And I refuse to get the other hip done now.
and I get to make fun of him. And I get to make fun of him because one of his feet is, one of his legs is taller than the other, and one of his feet are longer than the other, or something.
No,
bro, you already said it. So.
My foot is about, my big toe is about an inch longer than the other one.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's not my legs though. I'm not standing like this.
Not Quasimodo.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you this, Brian. You want to know why I keep getting tongue-tied while I'm talking to her?
Because you're super excited.
No.
You want to ask a question.
No.
No, he doesn't drink.
No,
I drink. I drink for both of us.
I'm allowed to drink, but no. When I seen Friday the 13th Part 2 as a kid, I was like 7 years old the first time I ever seen it.
Oh my God, that's young.
Yes, and she was my first crush.
Oh, thanks.
I knew it. I called this when he showed me the picture, and he was like, "Dude, oh my God, we're getting Laura Marie Taylor," and I was like, "Okay, calm down, Mark. Calm down. I get it. She's from what?" And he goes, "Friday the 13th Part 2. She's from Friday the 13th Part 2." And I was like, "Okay, so you're super excited that she's from the movie."
I didn't tell him why. I didn't say nothing.
He didn't say a word, and I was just like, "Okay."
Was it because my love interest was Mark also?
No, it was just I just liked how your character was, and you know, she was always seemed like she was always happy. You know, it nice wasn't. Girl.
Wait a minute. I remember reading something. And I don't know if this is true now or if this was true then. You don't know how to swim. Mm-mm. You were supposed to be in the swim scene. You were actually supposed to die in that one scene where they're at the lake. Is that right?
No, I wasn't supposed to die. I was supposed to dive into the water. And I told Steve Miner, I said, "By the way, I can't swim." And he just said,
"It's in the book." Mark knows. Mark knows it's in the book.
Yeah.
Great damn
so
book.
There I am at the beach scene saying your face and ad-libbing. Yeah.
You got to ad-lib?
Yeah. Well, that because I wasn't supposed to be in the scene. So I'm in the scene by, with the, what do you call it? The lifeguard tower with Stu Charno and Steele and obviously Tom McBride. And yeah, because I couldn't swim. I'm not going in the water, especially a lake. No way. Even kiddie pools scare me. We have a doggy pool for our border collie out back to swim in, and I won't even get in the doggy pool.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
like 5 inches deep.
Just sit down.
That's how my mom is. She won't get in a pool. She won't nothing. Nope.
I'll get in the pool. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't scuba dive, but when I was in Hawaii, I did do snorkeling. But you've got the flippers on your feet, so you stay afloat with the flippers. I did take private swimming classes at a YMCA not far from where we live. And after 6 weeks of private classes, the instructor just shook her head and she goes, "I don't like to say this to people, but you sink." And I said, "I know." She goes, "You can't swim. I can't help you." I said, "I know." And that was the end of that. And that was as an adult.
So I was in the Navy, and I can
thank you for your service.
You're welcome. I can semi swim. Here's the problem. We live in Florida, and we like to do this thing called scalloping. Well, the problem is my butt is very buoyant. It wants to float. So when I want to swim down to get the scallops, I can't because my butt's up there, and I'm trying to get down there. It doesn't work for me.
So what you're saying is you're
sinkers.
Kardashian.
What's that?
Are you saying you're a Kardashian?
I don't have a big butt.
It's not fake, at least.
Yeah, it's definitely not fake. My wife tells me it's a big one, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
That's a compliment. Hey,
I guess.
My wife tells me I don't have an ass, so it don't matter.
Well, at least she doesn't say you don't have cojones.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. You got to have those because you're doing the show with me.
Oh, that's
okay.
True.
Whose dog is barking? Whose dog?
Sorry. I have some dogs at the house.
What do you have?
So I have a Shepherd Husky mix.
Aww.
So I think he's the one singing right now. He's talking to Mama about how you didn't feed me and it's my time to eat. So I think that's what's happening right now. he went to the groomers today because he has this butt floof. He has butt floof.
Yes. Oh yeah. I get it.
You know, the fluff at the back of the legs.
Yeah.
And they cut it today, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I don't know whose dog you are.
Aww.
I don't know.
Yeah, our border collie has butt floof.
Floof.
Yes, the long hair is there, but it's nice because it looks like, the Fonz in Happy Days. It's like a DA, it's like gas.
Like you want to give your dog a comb and be like, here you go, bud.
I know. It's like, please comb yourself, dude. Yeah, usually when I record the podcast, 9 times out of 10, the dogs will bark. And the most recent one, Robbie Morgan from part 1, she's got standard poodles and they started losing their cookies. And I thought, thank God somebody else has a barking dog in the background besides me. So I'm glad to hear. Did I hear a cat earlier too? Or am I?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes. I have a lot of cats.
Mark has a mascot cat.
I have 9.
Oh, okay. We have 6 and 2 dogs.
Yeah, I have 9 cats, 3 dogs, 3 ferrets, and that's
and a partridge and a parrot.
No, we got rid of the chickens and duck.
You're a Christmas song for sure.
Yeah, well, my poor ferret. Her name's Coda, and we just found out that she has breast cancer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry.
Yeah, well, she's not hurting right now. They didn't want us to put her down just yet, but in due time it will happen.
Do they have pills? Because I know cats. I know a cat that has cancer, and they have little cancer pills for the cats. Do they have something like that for the ferret?
Nothing I can afford. That's the problem.
Right. That's true.
Just for the surgery to take it is over $700, and I'm like,
I think our ferrets live to be about 5 or 6.
No, yours was older than that. Yours was about 8 or 9, but they can last up to 10 years old. So that's a good thing. And mine's only half the age. He's 5 years old now. But,
we had a dog who had cancer on his mouth, and that was really hard to control. And finally, it just, again, we love our pets, though.
Oh, absolutely. Those are your other kids.
Yeah.
You got the kids, and then you got the other kids, and you'll do.
You got the obedient ones, and then you got the other ones.
Exactly.
Well, wait a minute. Hold up. My dogs aren't always obedient.
Favorite and most hated Halloween outfits for you, Miss Lauren? What are your favorite Halloween outfits, and then your most hated Halloween outfits?
I think
anybody that dresses like Jason it's no.
Like for other people or for my personal outfits?
I think it could be your personal, I think.
Well, in the 60s, of course, gypsies were big. So my favorite was being a gypsy because I thought I looked like a hippie and I thought hippies were cool because it was the 60s. My least favorite was dressing up like a princess. I was just not princess material. I was a tomboy and really, bookish, and being a princess was not my gig, but I did it because everybody was Cinderella at some point in their Halloween career. Yeah. So those were my, those are my 2. Yeah.
So I kind of want to bounce in on this thing because the worst outfit that I ever had to do, and we did it 3 years in a row, and I absolutely hated it. I dressed as Darth Vader. I had to get my face painted black. Listen, back in the 80s, you could be a blackface and there was no problem.
So you weren't wearing the mask of Darth Vader?
No, there was back then there was no plastic.
Yes, they did. They had the plastic, but your
weird plastic things.
Yeah, they had that plastic. They had the strap on it, and
yes, the thing that you put behind.
My face got painted black. I wore this yellow. It was like a rain parka, and it had a picture of Darth Vader, like his body.
Hey, Brian, that's what poor people have to do when they don't have the outfits.
I never said I was rich, dude.
I know. Hey, my mom dressed me up, and I hate to admit this one, when I was like 5, maybe 4. She dressed me up as a female clown. She put a dress on me and everything. And oh man, I'm glad there's no pictures of. Yeah, there is. There's pictures.
Listen,
but I'm not. I'm not shocked.
I was jealous because my cousins Raymond and Tammy, they got to dress up like Raggedy Ann and Andy, and their makeup I thought was way better because they got wigs, they got the painted like just around the eyes, not the whole face, around the eyes, and then the mouth had to get painted. You know, one was frowning, one was smiling. I was so mad. I was like, I get to be Darth Vader. They paint me in this black thing, okay, and I got to wear this yellow thing that makes me sweat to death. And you guys go to school and you get to win a contest for best. It was like best paired costume or something like. I forget what it was.
We didn't have that. Oh my God, Catholic school. We didn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, we went to public school, and it was not fun for me because everybody in my family went to the same school, and I was like,
oh no, that's the worst.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like when you walk into the school and the teacher goes, "Oh, you're one of those."
Yeah, yeah. Or you're not your I got a lot of you're not your brother because he was a year older than I was.
Yeah. So it wasn't even my brother. It was my uncle, my cousins. Who else? Yeah, it was like my uncles and my cousin because we all had the same last name and then I walk into school one day and I'm like, yeah, I'm Brian and this is my last name. And then the teacher looks, excuse me, you're a what? And I was like, yeah, I literally got sent to the corner. Like day one, sent to the corner. I remember the teacher's name. It was Miss Smalls, and she sent me to the corner because I was I was a part of that family, and I was like, son of a bitch.
Isn't it weird? I remember the teacher's name too, Mrs. Deboronsky, in 8th grade, and she told me, you're not your brother. And I was just like, no, I'm not. Clearly, I'm not my brother. And I was just, I got sent to, got my mouth washed out with soap.
Oh, been there. I got caught for flicking peas across the cafeteria, and I never did. It was definitely my cousin sitting right next to me. That's
very Animal House.
We got in trouble. He got in trouble, and then he got me sent to the principal's office where I got a paddling. It was not my fault. I swear to God, to this day, I'm going to reach out to my aunt tomorrow and text her and just let her know it was always Raymond. It was Raymond's fault. He did this. He just told me to buckle up. He told me to buckle up because it's about to get real.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I only had my brother and that was it. None of my cousins lived nearby, no nothing. So there was no reputation except to be a brainiac like my brother.
Oh, he was a smart one. He was the smart one in the family. He's the smart cook.
Very smart. Yeah, he's a smart cook. I'm not too shabby. I mean, I was Phi Theta Kappa, and I was on the, what do you call it? I graduated with all those colors from college. So
either
sum laude or one of those. I don't remember. Yeah, the 4.0 GPA, whatever. Yeah.
I didn't have that. Like Mark knows me, and he knew me from middle school to high school. I hated school, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I can go back and do it all over again, I want to redo. Because
you can go back
so do I. No, I would like to redo.
High school and middle school.
High school mainly. I wouldn't have been, as bad as I was. Quitting, going back. I did graduate a year later, but
You finally graduated, though.
Yeah.
He didn't get to graduate with me, though, and that was that was our thing. Like, hey, when we graduate and we're on the field, we're going to blow up this giant beach ball and we're going to throw it around. Mark wasn't there.
I didn't even go to that graduation.
So I had to blow up the beach ball, and then somebody got yelled at, and it wasn't me. I don't know where the ball came from.
Somebody got yelled at.
Just going to say, there was glitter everywhere. I don't know what happened.
Somebody always brings a beach ball. Always.
Really?
Have you not seen this at a graduation recently?
I went to school in New York City, so all of my graduations have been in churches because I went to Catholic school.
That's right. You went to Catholic school. I forgot.
Yeah, and I even went to a Catholic college.
Public school. So
there was no beach ball. Yeah, it's different. But you know what? I'm trying to think. My kids went to public school. No, there wasn't a beach ball. Maybe it's a Florida.
There were no shenanigans in the middle where all the graduates are sitting.
No, it's all very serious in New York. I don't know. At least where we are, it's all very serious.
Yeah, Florida, I guess, is a little bit different.
It's got a mind of its own. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
I was waiting for somebody at the last graduation I was at to pull out an alligator because I'm out. I'm running. Some bitches are fast. I ain't even playing.
No, please, no.
The only one of my kids that missed out on graduation was Liberty, and that's because she it was
way too smart
COVID.
for her own good.
Well, no, it was because of COVID. They had that walk through, and that was so sad.
Yeah.
But you know, I felt bad for those kids because they didn't get to go to their last prom, their last this, their last that. They lost a lot because of that.
Musical, last ball games. Yeah, you name it. It's such a shame. And a lot of the kids, especially the young kids who are learning to read, you can't learn how to speak and read with a teacher with a mask on. You can't. I taught first grade for 10 years. You can't. They need to see how you form words. You know, they need to see how you read. Anyway, don't get me started again. I don't want to get political.
All right. Well, listen.
Anyway, do you guys have any other questions?
Well, that was what I was getting to. Mark, do you have anything else? I know.
No.
Your crush has made it to the screen. She's going to be leaving you.
That's fine. I'm married. She's married. That's okay.
Miss Lauren, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we let you go? Where can our fans and viewers and listeners, where can they find you?
Oh, I'm on Instagram. It's Lauren Marie Taylor 1 with the number 1 behind my name. I also have a website, very easy, just my name, laurenmarietaylor.com. And I post, appearances and whatnot. And there are like some videos on there, some, photos from the various gigs that I've done. What else, hun? You're here. What? I'm going to be in Indianapolis next weekend, the weekend of the 22nd, 23rd.
That is for Days of the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, Days of the Dead here. And then no, you come over here. And then I've got Nickel City Con in Buffalo at the end of the month. My husband was in Girls Night Out with me.
I know who this is.
Here, wait, move in.
How you doing?
He was Bostwick in Girls Night Out, dudes.
Dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much for giving us 1 hour of her time. We really appreciate that.
Lauren's great. She's just a great person, too. You got to know. You have to understand that she's a great person.
All right, so we're going to set up your interview next.
He has a lot of stories. No, yeah, Girls Night Out. That was kind of fun. Oh, here it is. Here's the here it is. Yeah. See.
I gotta watch this one because I know Neighbors. I watched Neighbors and I was super impressed, and I was just like, I gotta watch this other one. I have not seen it, and I've not seen Girls Night Out, so I'm ready. Is it a comedy? Is it a comedy drama? What is it considered?
It's a comedy slasher. Here's Neighbors.
Comedy slasher. Yes, I know Neighbors. I know this one.
Yeah.
Because when Neighbors came out with the guys recently, where they're the college frat, and they did the show Neighbor, the movie.
It's a different Neighbors.
I know, and I was like, oh my god, they remade this movie.
I thought so too. I was like,
Zac Efron.
Yeah,
Zac Efron. There you go. Yeah.
I was like, that was funny too, but that's.
Yeah, Zac Efron is underrated. I think.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he's awesome dude.
Yeah, we like him a lot. We have crushes
Zac
on
Efron
him.
fans.
I keep saying I want him to play Nightwing whenever they decide to do that movie.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, and he's so buff too.
He dances a lot.
All right, guys. Well, from us here at Talking Shit, we really appreciate you coming on.
Yes, we
Lauren.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for your time. If you
Thank
want
you,
to come back on
Thank
the
you,
show,
Brian.
we're going to be doing some games here in the future. Mark's going to send out the list. if you want to do it, reach out to us. We do open mic. We do open mic nights.
Horror trivia.
This guy is good with trivia. He's really good with, especially historical trivia.
Horror trivia. This is happening.
No, historical trivia, not horror. Trivia. This guy, no, he's a big Jack Nicholson fan. So anything Jack Nicholson, he can answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you ever do a Jack Nicholson trivia night or Shining trivia night, get this guy on.
What do you think we ought to do about Danny?
Oh my!
All right, guys. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lauren. Have a good night. Take care.
Be in touch.
Bye. Well, there you go, Mark.
All right.
You're super happy.
Oh yeah, I'm happy.
You stood up a few times. You're I gotta get up.
No, the last time the cat knocked the mic out, so I had to get up and fix the mic.
So you wanted Miss Lauren to be on the show because Miss Lauren was one of your crushes
when I was younger. Yes.
In Friday the 13th, Part 2.
Yeah, the other.
Listen. She's still not a bad-looking woman. I'm going to tell you right now. So.
hopefully, CJ Graham sees this and says, "Hey, look, maybe he'll come on next."
Listen, I don't know who it was from Facebook that is reaching out to her. They want her to do a fan film, and we know that these fan films are really stepping their game up.
Yeah,
so,
he actually, the guy actually said something on there about coming on our show wants to get a hold of us to promote that. And I told him to message me, and we could set that up.
All right, so Mark.
We're going to be back here.
It's been a really good show.
Yes, we'll be back tomorrow anyways. We got Miss Dawn Brody going to be on our show. From History I'd Like to Fuck.
That is History I'd Like to Fuck. Dawn Brody?
Yes.
Oh, if you have not listened to this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, go do it now. Hey, Mark, I want to reach back out to Mr. Robert from The Broken System, but I want him to finish up his show. There was a big, huge break in the case.
Yes, there was.
There was a huge arrest, and we want his fans and our fans, those who know about Robert's show, to tune in. But I'd like to get Robert back on the show. So, Robert, if you are listening, if you listen to this later, we'd like to have you back. And,
we do have a date open.
Well, I want to wait until his podcast is
right. He's going to finish up. He's got one tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. He's got one coming up. They're going to talk about the break in the case. And then he's going to release the next episode. And then I think he said that he's got like 2 or 3 more after that. So sometime, I'd say towards the end of July, we can always set that up.
Absolutely. I think that is going to be super awesome.
And we unfortunately had a cancellation. Bear Law won't be on the show due to they have a what did I say? They have a special engagement that they have to do.
It is what it is. It's fine. We can get those guys. We'd love to have those guys back on at any point. I just sent some stuff out too.
Yes, I seen that. I've seen your Taw joke.
We just sent some stuff out to our friends over at the Barrel Age Flicks and Barrel Age Chicks.
And the Chicks will be on in July too for us.
And if you guys reach out to anybody that wants to be on our show, reach out to us. Let us know. It doesn't matter if they have a podcast, a TV show,
just send me a message, Brian. Don't message people. He sends it to me anyways.
I do. You Soldier is going to show their face on our next live open mic.
You think so?
I hope you're ready. I already know so.
Okay.
It's happening, sweetheart.
Okay.
So,
well, actually, the next open show is next Tuesday, but we might have to do something other than that.
That's okay. We'll get together and figure out what we want to talk about. We'll reach out to all of our 900 almost viewers.
As of tonight, we are 3 away from 900 subs on YouTube.
We're almost there, guys.
We're almost at 1,000. I mean, if anybody knows about YouTube and how it works and stuff, 1,000 is a good milestone. It may not seem like a whole lot, but it is for us.
We're all about hitting milestones. So from us here at Talking Shit, Mark, I'm good if you're good.
Yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow to do the same shit, different person.
That's right. Laura Marie Taylor, check her out. Friday the 13th. Neighbors. What was that other one?
Girls Night Out.
Girls Night Out. I'm gonna go check. I'm going
to watch that.
So
yeah, I'm going to have to check that one out tomorrow. Matter of fact, I got to write that on my list, and then hopefully soon we'll see what other movies she's going to be in.
All right. Well, I'm good if you're good.
I'm out of here.
Later.